Okay, sorry guys, we're starting off laughing because of what else. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey guys, how you doing? Um, Forgive us for just like seeing us just cracking up for no reason apparently. While we start this. Anyways, we're here. Me and Hellset are here to do it. Like, and kind of funny side note, when I was making this live earlier, I was like, is this episode 2 or 3? This is terrible. Like, how am I gonna forget it's episode 2 or 3 already? The season's already barely started. Okay. You know what? Elsa, you take it off because apparently I can't think straight this Saturday. So,
We both can't think straight. I'm running on 4 hours sleep, so I was we were cracking up back there because when I am lack of sleep or hungry or something, I get to be a comedian. So I am definitely ready for this. I knew it was episode 3 because, like you, I got to write it on the top of my notes so I know what episode it is. I just can't. I mm, I can't, especially with a new show that I don't know anything about.
very true. Um, Hold on, I'm kind of distracted at the moment. Let me
That's fine. At
uh
least, at least all the couples are still here at the end of the episode.
right. I mean, like I think Jay said it yesterday that at this point some other couple needs to go. A couple of people actually need to go. To be quite honest.
Yeah, there are quite a
Um.
few.
um,
Who will be voting off the island for Survivor?
mm,
I definitely vote Sienna off, and sorry, Brandon, you got to go with her.
mm-hmm. uh, First, Sienna and Brandon for obvious reasons, but for me, second would be Diamond and Aaron H. So personally, but and I'll get into why later. But
Okay,
um,
I would do Aaron J and Jody. Don't waste my time.
yeah, I keep forgetting that y'all keep calling her Jody, and
Cause she said to call her Jody.
I'm like, call her by her name, damn it. So sorry. Because like I guess I'm triggered because I have a unique name and people need to say my damn name right. Because I'm like, no way. Like y'all need to stop calling me Adrian because it's not fucking Adrian. So sorry, I kind of had to get that out because that's
Adrian.
okay, Rocky. uh,
Yeah. Since
um,
since I'm tired, it's gonna be rocky all through this. Okay.
in more ways than one. I mean, uh,
How you want to do this?
I think I'm just doing
Scene by scene.
yeah, because
Okay.
I don't think I can um
Yeah, Jay had me last night jumping through my notes. Like, okay, what page was that? What page was that? It was good though. Kept me on my toes.
mm,
So we
mm.
started off rolling across the bed at the intimacy room, boom boom room.
Did they say what I'm confused about though? Because I was like, did they say that Shay and Josh were gonna go to the intimacy room? Because I must have missed that because I don't remember that.
They just said they've been holed up in there.
Okay,
They
because
done
I
took
was like,
over
wait a
the
minute,
room.
when did that happen? I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, they they moved into the room.
So that were they in there the last 2 days or something, last 2 nights or something?
I I don't know because Greg is the timekeeper. He keeps saying 72 hours. So I don't know if that was just the
No,
first.
well, no. In Greg's defense, he said to do to go to the boom boom room for so that way Sienna can be quiet for the next like 72 hours or whatever. So I
You put in
mean,
the work, you'll buy yourself 72 hours.
right? That's what he said. To be fair for him, so, yeah.
Greg is a whole comedian.
I mean, if not the comedian version of oh god, why am I blanking on his name? the I can't remember his name
Lenny
now.
Kravitz Jr.
Yes, Lenny Kravitz. Sorry, I
I
couldn't.
didn't know if that was what you were going for. I said comedian, comedian.
Like,
Who's the
see,
comedian?
like I didn't even like have a bad night's sleep, and I'm like, my mind's not all the way here apparently. So
You got you got my my brain lag.
exactly, exactly. Thank you, Jay. Say so. Yes, Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz. I was blanking on his name. I don't know
How
why.
dare you? Lenny Kravitz of all the names to blank on, not that one.
Exactly, because I even said that he's a good looking man, so I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. I'm giving him his props
I
though.
thought you dubbed him Lenny Kravitz Jr.
I did, and that's even worse. I did. So I can't.
Oh
Okay.
God, it's like the parents
Anyways,
who forget their kids' names.
or you have or if you want to say you have a parent who calls you by every one of your other siblings' names except your own. My mom always did that growing up. I'm like you do know my name, right, Mama? Because like you gave me my name for a reason, right? So anyway, anyway. So yeah, we see Shay and Josh rolling about the boom boom room. I'm gonna keep calling the boom boom room because it ain't no damn intimacy suite. Because I don't know,
People getting intimate in there. What you talking about?
not really. And I'm get to that when we get to Diamond and Aaron, but not
Okay,
really.
okay.
So not in my opinion. Um, hmm. How are you doing this afternoon, Jay? Say so. How you doing? Hope this evening or this afternoon is treating you well. Cause see how I'm doing.
We are being a little loopy.
Exactly. Exactly. Maybe someone could actually be lucid here instead of me and Elsie. Anyway, so Aaron and Diamond decide to want to sit Sienna and Brandon down, and this goes
Mm.
completely sideways, in my opinion. Because this was not fruitful, as we see later on in the episode. So,
Yeah,
what
Sienna
do
was
you
quick
think?
to say, I don't want a third party all up in my business.
Okay.
You sign a
Um.
contract for a show. The entire crew is in your business.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go somewhere and then I completely forgot in 2 seconds, just like that.
That's okay. He said this is the most drama he's ever had in a relationship. So I want to know how she presented in those phone calls, in those video calls they had before.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think she did like because there's a way. I think there's a way for people to uh actually be attracted to how a person is physically by like a single picture alone. But in motion, they don't actually like the person like that physically. And I have a sneaking suspicion that that is what happened here. I don't know
Mm.
if that makes any sense, but that's
Yeah, it does.
brain is going. Um,
It makes sense. It's just for me, it's like you're doing video chats. You know what the man looks like. More importantly, it's not just, talking on the phone, like, you know, back in the day in the early parts of, online dating without video telephones, you know, you'd have to just talk to the person. It's not till you see them in person that you get to see them. So I just want to know how is this different? So you're thinking she's lashing out because she's with him now physically and this ain't it.
yeah, I think so because and I think because I may have said this last night and I forgot or I was just thinking it, and I something about him is just, or not, no, okay, maybe not necessarily him. Sorry, let me roll that back. Something in her past, and maybe to even some extent, maybe him, is that he had done previously that she is triggered by, and that we have seen, because I Jay brought it up pretty well last night on her live, that something must have happened off camera that we don't see, months and months previous to this whole interaction, that had to have happened, because this whole thing is not making sense. Why she is going this hard, this much on camera?
Yeah,
Because
this sounded like
she's triggered by something.
this sounded like probably when Shay first heard that he was having a baby with a roommate. That's the kind of energy it's giving.
Mm,
That's that's the kind of energy. No, you did not go get somebody else pregnant. That's the kind of energy it's given. Not, I'm not attracted to you. Or I don't really like you. Let's get this over with. That's more, Jay Say So said in the chat. It sounded like Jody and Aaron is like, okay, I ain't really feeling you, but I'm not gonna be loud and disrespectful, call you out your name and curse you out. You know.
mm-hmm.
So I wonder what it was that happened. But I'm guessing she never played the game. You cannot speak unless you're holding this item in your hand.
Well, I mean, even if she has, I just don't think she would have can let him speak anyway. Because I mean, she's just obviously the type that if she has to get her thoughts out, and not, um because it seems like she's highly, um mm, I don't want to keep saying triggered, but she's highly,
Volatile,
maybe, um she
but it
just,
has to come from somewhere.
yeah, she takes things, I guess, very, 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 very personally, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. And she's trying to make, yeah, Sienna J, she's trying to, I don't know, something, I mean, I think so, because I said this in Jay's chat last night, that, like, what did I say exactly? But I can't even remember what exactly I said, but I kind of, felt her a little bit when at some point, I think it was towards the end, where I was, kind of feeling like she's I don't even remember what I said. I might have to go back into the video and kind of look at what I wrote, because I can't remember exactly what I said. I want to make sure I get it right so I can,
Hmm.
um, actually say it right.
But I feel like she's, running herself ragged
Mhm.
because she's like, well, we don't have a communication problem, and this. It's like the man hasn't been able to say what the problem is.
That too. That is what I definitely didn't like about her last night.
I'm not that way. I just have a flair for the dramatic, and it's like, no, it's not. That's on the stage is a flair for the dramatic. That is not, yap 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 and calling him out of his name. That's not a flair for the dramatic. That's disrespectful.
And see, that's the thing, Jay. I don't think her age is right. Personally, I think that they're, upselling her age for some reason. I don't know why, but it sounds, because I think they're misconstruing. Because I think Aaron H is actually younger than what they say his age is, and I think she's younger than what they say her age is too. Because I mean, maybe I'm just completely wrong, but I don't think that some of these ages are actually correct.
Right. Shoot, half the jobs aren't even correct, and we don't even know what these people jobs are.
Hey, Delphin, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Um,
But Diamond asked a good question. Do y'all like each other?
I mean, that's a very valid question. I mean, as much as I don't like her, because I don't like that she seems to be all up in everybody's business. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know if production is making her do it or asking her to do it, but she seems very much too happy to do this, and to me it feels like that. I mean, I could be very wrong, but it just to me it feels like she's very happy to do all this, and it just comes off very icky to me, and I don't like it. And I wish she would, because she has her own host of problems too. So I need you to get up out of everyone else's business and focus on your own, please. I can't, I don't, and that I think that's why I'm having such a hard time really liking her, is because of that, because she seems like very disingenuous and I don't like it. So
You mean Diamond with a Y?
yes, Diamond with a Y. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, well, I can understand that, but focusing on everybody else's problems mean I don't have to focus on my problem um of what I got going on with Aaron H. We Delphine, we are talking about when Sienna and Brandon were talking to Diamond and Aaron H. So, what did you think? Because I had strong feelings last night. What did you think when Sienna was asked to apologize or asked if she apologized to Brandon?
We know she's not gonna do that. Like, at least not gonna come from the heart, so we know that's not gonna happen. So well, we can just kind of move on right along, because like that's never gonna happen. Not with how she's set up currently. So we can just skip on right past.
Whew. It's like the kids at school. You got to be told to apologize, but you're just mad. You're just
Hmm.
mad.
Um, Sorry, I'm still trying to go through Jay's live, see like what exactly I
See what
said.
exactly you said about them.
Yeah, because and it might be just that the because I know she went by couple, I think. So I'm trying to get anyways, what did happen next after that?
Um, Greg and Aaron H were
After,
talking about Jody and Aaron J.
yeah,
They were
that
outside, and then Jordan came out with his cereal and got attacked by the bee.
yeah, I mean, oh, they Aaron Aaron H is messy and petty, or not petty, but he's messy. He's messy boots, as I'm kind of channeling my inner Seaway with that. So he's kind of messy boots, and I think I feel like he's only kind of really doing all that because of diamonds. To be quite honest, I'm sorry. I think that she comes off as like a gossip queen, kind of.
Mhm.
Um, and she's roping him into do that, and which is even more so when they get into the boom room later. So I mean, maybe that's part of some of it's him too, but I just don't know. I just don't think that he is mostly doing it himself with the whole um talking to somebody else about about another couple. So um I don't know
Right.
thought of that whole situation, but
No, I just think they have, the two of them as just kind of like the narrators of the story, you know. Um, Aaron H and Diamond with a Y. They're just the narrators, working through the room. So
Hmm.
after that, was it the dinner?
Yeah, it was dinner. Um, as I said last night, I'm glad uh, um, Brandon wore gloves because one thing I don't like is seeing people's hands all over my damn food. So, I'm like,
Preach.
I don't care how much you wash your hands, put on some freaking gloves, please.
Golly.
Like, I'm so sorry. Had to get that out. I had to get that out. But
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I didn't notice it. I just automatically pulled back and like, ugh, and left it alone. But I should have, I didn't have the time to pause and rewind it. But y'all say he was wearing gloves. I would agree with you and keep it pushing. But one thing I would agree, why I would say he would have been wearing gloves the whole time is that he was meticulous about that table. He
I,
was meticulous.
I mean, hello, come on.
And having been raised and went to etiquette classes and learning how to pour, you know and have a proper tea service at high tea time, I can appreciate the layout of his table. He made sure everything was measured correctly.
All he needed now was that ruler to make sure everything was like in within a millimeter or whatever, an inch of each other. I'm like that because I remember seeing a show or a movie where someone was doing that. I was like,
He didn't need to because you could see it. Like if you looked at it, um, you know, you could see, even they show it to you with the European flair. When you look at it, you have to look down the glasses to make sure all the glasses are lined up. He was very meticulous. He was very, very meticulous. And yes, he did show a great level of class, Jay say so. Great level of class. And it's something, people be like, okay, it's a buffet, just go get a piece of meat, get some potatoes, sit down. He he did show, and I'm going to hazard a guess, that he is about serving, service, and a great presentation.
well, everyone is eating in the middle of dinner. They start doing this. Diamond gets up and says, "We're gonna do a game."
And Aaron H got to be in it with her.
Like I, you know how Chaz was always like, I don't want to look like a simp.
That was not him. You still had to call his name, but that was not him saying that.
Wait, did I say Chaz? I meant
Yes.
LeBron. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I meant. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. I meant Laron, and I said someone else's name by accident. I didn't mean to. I thought I said the right name. So don't come for me, please. I beg. As Coach would say, I beg. I did not mean to. I like. I, uh, but yeah, he like. I'm getting like he is. If we're gonna say someone is a simp, I would say Aaron H would be how he is like follow like he seems like a puppy dog going after diamonds. That's what it's given to me, kind of a little bit. I don't know about anybody else.
I
So
mean, is it wrong or bad for him to be, you
no,
know?
but I also get like because we got the whole storyline that um he posted a picture of a wedding ring or an engagement ring for another woman,
Right.
and on Facebook, and supposedly they didn't uh you know talk it out until they met up.
That's what we are presented with, but I think they did. There's no way.
And then no,
Diamond?
that's why I said supposedly, because I was like,
Mhm.
but um I think that he really kind of I the reason why I'm kind of saying that is I feel like he kind of I get the feeling that he may have really just acquiesced to whatever she said because he didn't really want to rock the boat.
It could come off as that, but for me it's like when people would look at flip it and say if a woman is following, everything that her gentleman tells her or suggests for her to do, they would say she's being submissive or being controlled. Aaron H seems like he is quite happy to follow along with what Diamond, has planned. For me, it's like the words. I don't like the simp or the other words because I'm like that gives me a connotation of somebody's trying to take advantage of the other person. They're making them look bad. They're taking advantage. There's no real feelings there, and they're just being used. So for me, I would more like, okay, I don't see Diamond really using him right now, so I wouldn't put him in that category right now. But he just seems like a guy to like, you know, I'll, go along to get along until I have a boundary that I need to set up. And I guess I'd probably defer it because my grandfather was like that. My grandmother will have all these great ideas and let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And he would just be like, okay, okay, okay. Now, when there was a time he didn't want to do something, he would be like, no, not happening. Not happening. We ain't doing that. So I, that's why I kind of like look at it a little bit differently. It's like it just ain't for him to rock the boat right now. It ain't important enough.
Mm, you could be right. I mean, I'll try to keep that in mind because I'm like I just I may have to look at my thoughts about Diamond because I'm like I guess I just really don't like her, and so I need to kind of like take a step back for a minute because I'm like,
Understood. Understood. But don't judge him too harshly. Don't judge him too, because then we could look at Sandia a little harshly because she just going along with Chris
well,
and his madness.
true.
So just
They are doing. They we didn't see much of Chris and Cynthia this episode. We saw them in the episode, but they didn't really talk. They didn't see them do much. It's
we
really
saw her
just
for the awkward moment coming up.
right. Um,
What else? What else part of the game?
yeah. So they do the game, and they're like they have to pick a couple that they think fits this statement, or I guess was it questions and statements or just questions or statements? Because I don't.
It's questions. Those in somebody in need of the most romantic,
That's what I
the
thought.
one in need of couples therapy, most dramatic, the most in need of the intimacy suites, least compatible, the most toxic, who argues the most. It was just for me, ugh. It was like, can I just eat? Can I just eat and sip my wine?
Please, please. I don't. I just want to be able to like enjoy my food, enjoy being a little tipsy if I get to that point, and that's about it. I don't want to like. I don't want to have to like worry about because I mean this is kind of where I get Joanna a little bit here because it's like why it sounds messy trying to do all this, and then I'm just like, you're trying to stir some drama up, and for what? Like, I get it. I mean, I get that's the whole point of like reality TV, but like, I don't like it feels unnecessary or intentional.
Well, they're trying to do what, what they haven't gotten correct on Ready to Love yet. Because remember, there were some times when Tommy would bring out a game and we'd be like, oh my God, that was a really good game that Tommy did. And then other times it would be, dang, that game was boring. What were they thinking? So I think they haven't gotten the gist of it yet.
Oh, so Jay, he's Dom said that the checks were good. When he say that in Kojo's
Kojo's
live or Kojo's live?
Kojo's yeah interview.
Mm,
Good is subjective to me, but yeah.
right. I mean, like your good might be different from my good because my good is like $50,000 check personally. Yours might be like 1,000. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there just for the sake of that. But I mean, good is subjective. So I mean, but so she Dolphins at wondering if they're Brandon's still there of contractual obligation. Um,
Probably they probably told people they can't just walk out, or they'll be fined or it'll be a reduction in their check.
sort of like maths.
Right. As Jay says, so it's 2,500 a week. But since he was only there for barely 72 hours, how much of a check is he getting? Or are they paying them to keep quiet these past 2 years till the show drops? I don't
And
know.
do they get an additional stipend for keeping quiet? So,
Right?
mm.
I don't know.
So I found my comment on Jay's channel,
Go
so
ahead.
I'm trying to write
Yep.
it down. I'm trying to write it down, but and so I can get to it later. But because I want to get to it later when we get to the end. But
Okay.
um, anyways, pretty much everyone votes for Sienna and Brandon pretty much most of the time, except for the one. Which one was it? Because I wrote it down. What was it? The couple that needs to benefit from therapy. Aaron H says Aaron Ellen or Aaron J and Joanna need to go, and she felt some type of way. So that's where I guess I kind of was understanding kind of why or like empathizing with her a little bit because it's like it sound that sounded unnecessary because everyone else felt like seeing or who what that Brandon and Sienna needed to go. Why exactly are you bringing up me when the whole point was to bring up the people who were voted most, not as a side note? So that's why I felt like it was messy and
Yeah.
intentional. So
Yeah.
that's what I didn't really like about it. So that's where I was kind of come from. But
I don't like the whole game thing. I just made a few notes, but I didn't like it. It wasn't edited correctly. It was not presented well to be enjoyable because it didn't even stay on the screen to see the points that everybody,
yeah, it
it
went
didn't.
too fast.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't done well. It should have a. It's not enough couples for you not to have maybe every couple is a color and you lift your paddle for that color and say it's that couple.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
screaming that we're doing this the first time. It's a pilot, and we need to see if this is going to work.
so yeah, I mean,
Then the host entered. Mm.
yep, saying that family and friends are gonna come visit.
The family is coming. The family is coming. like, like saying the Brits are here.
Wow. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's just yeah. We only saw friends come so far. I mean, I don't know what it'll look like in the next coming episodes, but
Hmm.
I mean, We'll see.
Brandon had his friend Matt from since the third grade. Wow. That's quite a feat considering he said he was a military child, moving around, to still have a friend from all those years back. Mm,
Uh, um, yeah, and Delphin, that's a good point, and something I would agree with if and I just to kind of play devil's advocate a tiny bit here. I think the reason why they had the friends come here is because in their mind, I guess in their mind, they might be thinking, well, even if they were together for like even 3 months, that might still be a long enough time because they're still technically in a relationship. So at this point, meeting family might be a good thing, even if they're just meeting for the first time, because at this point you're supposed to be serious about each other, supposedly. Um, I don't know, but not saying it's right, but that might be what the producers were thinking on that. Um, but
hmm But it's a show too. We only have so many weeks at this
mhm.
house.
Yeah, I definitely think that Mill and Greg are fake. I don't. I mean, they're living 30 minutes apart and never met until for 3 years. They didn't meet. No, like, I understand. If they live in different states
Heck,
and they
30 minutes apart. Greg or Millie screamed to me like they are, folks who post on social media. They're going to drop their location at a restaurant or something. I'm going to be rolling over there and looking. I will roll over there and see if we could meet up or interact for a little bit. But yeah, 30 minutes apart, I don't, unless you're traveling for business and you just can't see which way is up. You didn't make enough time for 30 minutes. I know most people don't like a coffee date, but we can't even meet for coffee or breakfast or, I mean, daggone it. I could be running errands and we
I
could
mean,
do it
hell,
together.
I did a coffee meetup one time with the guy I met off of Facebook dating once. I wasn't living where I was living now. I mean, I was still in the same state, but I was living about 15 minutes north, like about 10, 15 minutes north of where I am now. And I just met up with him for coffee in the broad daylight. So, I mean, and I think he was living either where I'm living now or in Austin. Cause I'm closer to Austin now than I was before. But I think he just like moved to Austin or something. And so I just met up with him for coffee. I was like,
Mm,
nothing came of it because I was like, I didn't really think that he felt me like that, and I wasn't really, I was kind of going off of the vibe that I was getting from him. So I'm like, I mean, I wasn't there. Nothing really came of it after the fact, but that's a good way to know is to see like kind of meet up or whatever and see what happens from there. And so,
yeah. It's also good to process of elimination because I am not staying talking to you for no 3 months, and I don't know if we're compatible for me to continue to take up my time. I'm not going to say waste it because I'm always going to learn something from you. But for you to take up all my time, when I could be making space for who truly should be here in my life. For me,
right,
it's like a placeholder.
because 3 years is 3 times for each individual holiday to not have met up for like a holiday or something.
And how do I tell my friends and family I'm talking to somebody online for 3 years and we ain't never met? I just, no.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I mean, that's why I'm saying like this sounds like catfish, like a hand in catfish land. So I mean, uh, I don't know, but anyway, where did we leave off at?
Brandon's friend Matt is here. They've known each other since the third grade. Matt, and I stand corrected. I said he had a comb over, but Trey corrected me that he has a comb forward. Um,
Before.
And Brandon said he's not going to give her his energy. She went 0 to 100, and he always says never say never.
And I don't remember who brought this up, either you or Jay last night, but what was the point of having the friends and family come over if they were just going to talk to their respective
Yep,
people in their lives? I mean, what's the
yep,
point?
I said that.
Nothing's coming of it. So, like, what was the point? Like, I don't get it. But I mean, because it was complete waste. Because like, especially with Sienna and her friend Gigi. Thankfully you said it was her friend Gigi, because I couldn't remember if they said friend or if it was like a sister or like a relative. So I was like, especially when Gigi was talking with Sienna, I was like, what in the world? She was like, she ain't. I made it I specifically made it a point to write down that Sienna wasn't even giving the entire story. She was only giving her side. I was like, then
Yes.
what's the point? Like, if you're not gonna talk with Brandon about it, then what was the point? So anyway, I mean, I don't know if I want to get into that part right now too, but I mean,
That's fine because I'm hoping that they did edit it out. I was hoping to see Gigi's reaction to, if this is how she has behaved before, calling a man outside of his name. Is this something that the friends are used to? You know, I would have liked to have seen Gigi's reaction. If she was more of the, oh, he needs to get over it. Oh, he'll just go get over it. Or would she see it as a problem, especially, having met, very new. But you just told, yeah, we having arguments, and he did this, and he did this, and it's like, that's the difference with friends, because I'd sit here and listen to you, and I'd be like, okay, Miss Innocent, what did you contribute to this situation? Because just like you won't go popping off without a catalyst, what did you do to create this situation as well? What was your, hand in it? But then to tell her, oh, well, you just have to experience the soul pole and y'all could get back on track. It's like, nah, no, no, no. They need some fundamental foundational relationship things taken care of before they go to the boom boom room. I'm sorry. It ain't happening.
mm, mm. I personally, I don't think they didn't even get it at all. But um, not as a true friend saying, now what did you do? I, I mean,
I hear all that, but we know you spicy.
like it's like I heard it as like, what did you do? I'm like, and that tone of voice too, which is, I mean, not saying that's a bad way to say it, but like that's why I kind of laughed. I was like, it's like, what did you do? And anyway, but anyways, yeah, I mean, I need more people around me to call me the fuck out. So I'm just gonna say, like, I definitely need that. So
No,
because I feel
you
like
know
sometimes
I will.
I don't much appreciate it, because I'm like, I know that sometimes I be tripping like nobody's business, and I just need a dose of reality sometimes. Um, so I don't know. Hmm.
In the midst of the friends visit, we had Shay and Josh sit down with Diamond and Aaron H.
And again, I get that production more than likely may have had a hand in um her doing this whole sit down with them as well, but again, she just seems way too eager to this, because it seemed like she was sitting on the edge of her seat going like, what's the tea? Like, girl, calm down, please. I need you to calm down. I just don't get it.
Oh my gosh. For me, I liked how, Shay did say, yeah, you want to spill the hot tea, but I'm not going to spill it and burn Josh with it. We going to talk, but she kind of like, yes, this is what happened. He didn't wait to tell me. She gave the rundown, da 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 da, and we ain't gonna talk about this no more. Like I said last night, it's like when Diamond said, he's going to be a good dad. I'm like, he's already a dad times two. So you should be like, he is a good dad, not going to be. Isn't he a dad already? I mean, like, dag, what are y'all? What are you talking about? Unless you're trying to spill some tea, is this also a fake relationship? And she already expecting? I mean, what are you trying to say?
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry about that. As soon as I was just finished talking, Carla played outside, and I was like, I put myself on mute because I was like, because I'm sitting in my living room here, and it's like literally I'm right next to a window, and it was, yeah. So sorry. These people sometimes be just raggedy, and because you usually get it pretty quick, like in the first two or three blares, but then this one just kept going for 30 seconds. So I was like, let me put myself on mute. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just another instance of where exactly, Jay. She's given messy vibes, and and I mean, perhaps she is trying not to think about her own issues and focusing on everyone else's. And I get that, but I think it's something in me is also feeling like this is just her personality or something. I or not. I'm not gonna say that for sure, 100%. But it just she just is focused way too much on somebody else, and I don't necessarily believe that it's simply because she just doesn't want to focus on her own issues. And maybe,
Teresa, check.
and maybe,
Teresa, check.
I mean, maybe she is. Maybe there's something else that we don't know that about Aaron H that is really just um bothering her, and we just don't know about it because maybe she feels like because it's such a negative thing, it will look bad on her for sticking around with him for 5 years. I don't know. That's just pure speculation, but I mean, there's also something about her energy that's just really off-putting to me, unfortunately, and I I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my hardest to not really use that against her, but I'm hoping that she gives us something else to kind of work with other than this, because what I'm seeing now is really not giving me much hope, unfortunately.
Right. She's in everybody's business but her own. Mm. But she gonna be in the business later. We don't know if she got the business later.
Jay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I promise. Um, um,
So Millie and Greg were in the hot tub.
yes. Oh well, first, Diamond was talking to her daughter about
Oh
Aaron.
yeah.
Before we get to that, we got to that. Um, and her daughter does look like the spitting image of her. So I'm like, I mean, I don't, and also I don't know how I feel about her kind of talking to her daughter about her romantic interests. I mean, I get it, they're close, but I'm not sure if they should be that close.
Well, how else is she going to tell her daughter if Aaron H is going to be in their lives because he will be a part of their life?
I mean, that is a good point, and I guess what I mean is that it seems like it could get to the point where her Diamond might say too much about the relationship, or I'm not sure how.
I think what I'm hearing you saying is Diamond, instead of a mother daughter relationship, you're hearing like it's girlfriends. She may
Yeah,
tell her too much. She may
yeah,
tell her the brand of nail polish that, Aaron, painted her toenails with when they were in the boom boom room.
and yeah, and that they might be, and he might have sucked her toes. Like it might be doing like I'm hoping that it's not the case, but I feel it's some. I know sometimes it can get to that point with
Right.
parent child relationship, whether it's a father son, father daughter, mother son, mother daughter type relationship. It could get too into
Friendship.
those. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point. I'm hoping that it's just vague terms, and that because I mean when I and unfortunately it could just get to that point if you're a single parent, and I don't want that to be the case. I'm hoping that it's not the case. Maybe that's just me and my extremes, and I need to just kind of check that away. I mean, I'm hoping that's what I was kind of getting in that scene, and I'm need to just kind of yeah.
And I understand that, it did seem like she was heading in that direction to overshare with the daughter. Um, but I think they, kept it PG enough. The daughter's grown too. The daughter's grown. Mama's been probably crying a river when she saw that, to the daughter. So they've probably been, her daughter's probably been a huge emotional support for her. I asked, does marriage mean anything? I mean, because he was slinging that ring out on Facebook. I mean,
That's true. That's what we're gonna have to look at him for at because it's. I mean, I don't know. Did he ever say that he was married before?
we never heard, he's mentioned his challenges in relationships before. But I also, the way she talked about, when she showed up, he was crying, and the way she was talking about it, I was like, do you like his emotional reaction, or did you like his tears? I couldn't get a sense of what it was, but something was ringing like, is it that he shows his emotion, or that you want to see this man cry?
Like push his buttons to the point that you make him
Whether
cry?
it's you pushing his buttons so you can comfort him, so then he is coming to you or dependent on you for comfort. Not that she wants to be Sienna and tick him off to make him cry, but, you know, more just like she's being a motherly, matronly figure out here, is she trying to do that too in her relationship?
Mm, I don't know. That's a good point. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah. All right. Now we can get into Sienna and Greg, or not Sienna and
Millie.
Greg, Millie and Greg. Sorry, I'm mixing up these people's names left, right, and center. Sorry. um, but yeah, Millie and Greg in the hot tub, and she's dodging his kisses like the Road Runner. Like she could turn into the Tasmanian devil spin and just fly on out of there. She would have. So, but she finally apparently acquiesced and gave him a kiss, even though she apparently didn't want to. So, I mean, saying that it needs to feel organic and natural, which I don't fault her for. Um, I don't really blame her for wanting to feel natural. Maybe in that instance, she just didn't really feel like it was. So I'm gonna because I initially I was thinking it seemed like it was natural, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention. So I'm just gonna let her have that in her thinking that if it's not really feeling all that natural to her, then she has a right to feel like that. Um, so
Like I was saying before for Ready to Love with the whole Maya situation in the club, if a guy was getting her number, I felt the same way with Millie here in the scene that we as young ladies have been taught and trained that it's much easier to just go along so you can then remove yourself from the situation rather than, I don't want to say buck up, but rather than push off and make a scene. So I don't know, based on how she was talking about it later with the girls, it seems like she wasn't on that path, but she kind of, went along for Greg's sake. Is like, okay, he wants a kiss, let me just give him a kiss, and oh, he's still coming for a kiss. Oh my gosh, I'm already wrapped up around him, I can't escape.
mhm.
But there are certain ways we can learn to deflect. And for the Millies of the world, sometimes the Gregs of the world, or just a gentleman at all, you need to be very clear about your boundaries. She's just saying, we got to take it slow. We got to take it slow. What does that mean? He
True.
needs a list. It's like, listen, I am not comfortable kissing you. If we can kiss, please ask. Or if I initiate it, that means I'm ready. You have to be very, very crystal clear. You
Mhm.
have to write a roadmap so that he isn't going in for a kiss and catching your cheek, and then it's like, oh, I caught her on the wrong side, or going in again, and it's like, damn, I gotta kiss him. It we got to be clear with each other. We got to be clear so that there aren't pitfalls of him saying like, "Yo, I got a kiss," and she's like, "Oh my god,
Mhm.
y'all, I had to kiss him, and there were no goosebumps, and it was just night and day conversations."
uh, do you think that the producers are giving creepy exercises?
Yeah, they are. They are. There are exercises they could do without being like this, but the hot tub isn't an exercise. Y'all entered the hot tub
Yep.
together. Not saying, you know, she can't say no at any time, but you know, it wasn't a creepy exercise for the producers. But yeah, that whole Kama Sutra thing, mm-mm. There's other ways for intimacy. Everybody could have been sitting there just looking each other's eyes, facing each other, just holding hands. There are different levels you could do without throwing Kama Sutra in people's faces. That's a little that's a little intense way of introducing the boom boom room.
Mm.
But yeah, I just it was shady though how they filmed it. When Millie was like, "Oh my god, there's no goosebumps," and oh, the kiss wasn't that great, and oh, I had to give him a kiss. And Greg is like, "Oh, we moving. I'm in there." That to me was just too funny. Producers really played both of them in that regard.
Mm. All right. What happened next?
Brandon with the drinks. Brandon the mixologist. So not only did you feed us, you gonna give us libation.
Well, actually, well, did that happen first, or did we see Diamond and Aaron go to the Boom Boom Room first? Because I didn't write down the. Because I wrote down
No,
that.
the
Okay.
drink the drink started first.
Okay.
Chris compliments Brandon and Jody about the drinks. Sandia gives a side eye,
Okay.
and I said Jody says, that's right, Chris. You don't have to, when chemistry is there, you don't have to force it.
Right. Okay, because I didn't write that down because I was just like, because the only thing I wrote down was the fact that Aaron tried to ask for a sip of hers and she said, no, you're acting like a 6-year old. That's the only thing I wrote down. So, I was like, wait a minute, did that happen first or the other thing happen first? But yeah, because I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just over some of the like a lot of these people already. And like, I'm like, I just don't write down parts that don't interest me. I'm just like, you know what? If someone else gets it, someone else gets it. Uh anyways, yeah, and maybe Chris is Joanna's type. In the sly F boy type, or the not well, he's not the sly F boy type. I'm not gonna say that. He's the tell it to your face F boy type. And maybe she, and I don't know if she heard that part, but um, because I'm pretty sure most of the guys were there with Chris, uh, if not all of them,
Chris.
and so yeah, it was um so I don't know if she heard that, but I obviously the energy that he's carrying is something that I think she's used to, and so that's why she's kind of gravitating towards him a lot and complimenting him a lot is because of that. So I mean,
Chris seems like if he and Sandia talks about this later and she talks about him flirting with Joanna, he would and he could be he would be the type to say, "What do you mean? You were right there. I ain't gonna be flirting with somebody in front of you. We were just talking. You were right there. You saw everything. I didn't do anything behind your back."
well, the caveat with that though is apparently like a lot of people think that Aquarius people tend to flirt a lot, and when we're really just talking to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be, you know, can like put on him too, because I mean, he may be talking to you, but in Sandia's eyes, you're flirting with Joanna. So,
Because Joanna got stars in her eyes.
yeah, I mean, looking like she 2 seconds away from dropping the panties or something. I don't know, but
Or just mixing his drink for him.
that too. I mean, whatever floats her boat. I mean,
Yeah, that was like, yeah, every time pipe up for Chris, pipe up for Chris. Now, if they were longer standing in each of their relationships, I would say that it's just a matter of the personalities getting along. Because I have another married couple friend where the husband and I have more of a rapport and our respective spouses are more, reserved. But again, we just talking and entertaining, but could be seen from the outside eye, but we're both in long-term marriages. That's a difference
mm-hmm,
than these people who are deciding if to get in a relationship, and it could look like you're looking to trade in,
right.
or have a different draft choice.
Like this, the I just thought of the ultimatum kind of experiment.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but Chris can't handle a Jody. Mm-mm.
because
Jody will be in the club looking for him and loud and embarrassing him when she finds him.
yeah, because Joanna is like a lesser, more reserved person, or reserved Sienna kind of.
Hmm.
They both don't like the people that came with. So I mean, Joanna is just more quiet, like me, about a lot of things. So and she doesn't really get, if you want to call it, buck with people unless like you keep bringing up something that she doesn't like, and then she's
Right.
gonna say something.
Right.
So I mean, unlike Sienna, who just does it off the bat. So, I
I
mean,
could see that. I could see that definitely. I could definitely see that.
mm, I don't know if I would classify Chris as a social butterfly. I don't know. I feel there's another term for him for or his type, but um, I wouldn't necessarily call him a social butterfly. I just think he likes to. I don't even know. Like I think he just likes to mess around and kind of find out. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just
He seems a social butterfly. Look at how he is. Chris's equal opportunity with the compliments. He, thanked Brandon and Sienna for the lovely meal. Was remembering what Greg said in the Kama Sutra. He is definitely, I'm gonna pay everybody a little compliment. I'm gonna make sure everybody feel good. I am the master of ceremonies, you know. So that's Chris. So
and he.
whether it's just to be nice to the crowd or whether it's for purposes, to Mr. Steal Your Girl, we'll find out.
No, see, yeah, no, that what I have pinned there is like I think he's more of like the. It's just that he's the more like you just said more Mr. Steer a girl, and he's just more wanting to be that sexual f boy kind of thing, and not he's not really he's only doing it for his benefit. He's not really doing it because he enjoys being around other people. I guess that's where where my mind was going is that
So
is
so he doesn't get any credit for also complimenting the guys. He
no, because he's
complimented
not.
the
I don't think
guys.
he's doing that because he truly thinks this about these people. I think he's just doing it for his own benefit.
Gotcha. Okay. I can see that. I can definitely agree with that. That this is all a show. Chris is putting on a show. But it could also be misunderstood that Chris is like, well, he's being very nice to the guys too. He complimented a lot of the men, but he would look real bad if he was complimenting all them women.
I mean, you look
Just
at
like,
bad looking at just complimenting Joanna. I mean,
right,
so
right.
forget all the other women. Even just one is just bad. So I mean,
'Cause she giving it right back.
hello, like she doing it. And what's the kicker is she's doing it with both Sandia and Aaron in the middle of them. Like,
That's how you do it in dark arts. That's how you do it.
and it's just like and he's literally like I think Jay brought this up last night. He was just sitting up there just grinning and smiling like nothing was going on, like nothing was transpiring. I hope he's just looking dumb just to make sure he doesn't like come off as being dumb, but maybe that could be construed as well, you're looking dumb anyway. So why not, we don't see him kind of stand up to her about that, but maybe he didn't. They just didn't air it or something. I mean, but I don't know.
But again, it would be a dark arts move. You doing all that flirting right there in front of the other person, your partner. But she doesn't see that she's very glaring. Everybody else is noticing it. Um, she doesn't know how to work the room and not be seen as working the room or working Chris over. And just like Greg said earlier, he likes that Millie is, being a little is a challenge. He likes that he has to work for it. Chris may be one of those as well. It's like Joanna is just a little too available in her personality and her compliments. Because she seems like she's talking to Chris a lot more than she's talking to Aaron J. Sorry. So it's like, okay, you have to have some kind of connection. You got to talk, and I don't even see Joanna and Aaron J talking to each other.
Yeah, they're I don't even know. Cause I have a feeling she realized she didn't like him like that well before they came on the show. Hey Sean, how you doing this afternoon? Um if you want to come up, you can come up and have your say your piece. I mean, I don't mind that. I was actually talking to El Cid about uh having some other people or wanting some other people to come up, or she suggested that to me, and I was kind of thinking that. And so if you want to come up, I can invite you if you
Yeah,
want.
just warn him that we're getting up to the foot rub.
Yeah, we're getting to the foot rub of it all. So we're getting towards the end here. So I mean, I don't mind if you come up and you kind of say your piece if you want it, but just let me know and I can send the link in the chat for you.
You gotta warn him. You gotta let him know what he's walking into. Pun intended. Talking about feet. So Diamond with a Y and Aaron H.
Gee whiz. Not
Oh,
the covers napkin. You're the covers napkin. Hey, Seaway be on the couch just lounging with her video off. So you don't have to come up if you don't want to. I'm not like Coach out there in these streets saying you have to come up with your camera on. So if you want to be like Seaway and just say your piece, I don't mind that. I really don't. But if you really don't want to, I'm not gonna make you. So
take the golden ticket and hold him to next week.
yeah, I mean, he said maybe next week. He didn't say next week. He said maybe. So I mean, that sounded like a week golden ticket, a very weak golden ticket.
And I'm say it with some confidence. Say you said you were coming on next week. Well, we have room for all different opinions, Sean. So we welcome your empathy. But so Aaron, hmm, mm, Aaron is having Aaron H is having fun with Diamond with a Y. They decide to kick
Well,
Shan Josh out.
yeah, see, and this is what I was saying earlier. Like, why I don't like her because she's out here when you're supposed to be doing intimate, like building intimacy with your partner. She's out here laying up on the bed while he's rubbing her feet, talking about other people. Like, why? I don't get it, ma'am. Like, ma'am, please. It makes no sense to me. Like, why you're out here talking about other people when you're trying to get to you don't I mean you don't even have to do you don't even have to be doing all that, but to be growing intimacy with your partner, what you decide to do is talk about somebody else and their problems. How make that make some sense for me? Because the math is not mathing anywhere in this situation. I'm gonna be right back. You hold it down for a second, please.
So first of all, Diamond was like, "Aaron, you ready? We got to go. You ready? I'll be right there, dear." They are like such the old married couple. Um, and to note that that how can I say it gently? To note that she is talking about other couples while he is there rubbing her feet. She's focused elsewhere because what he was doing wasn't tickling her fancy. It was just like sitting on the couch, you know, on a Saturday afternoon or napping with Sean, and that we just chilling, we just chilling, and we just talking. We're going to talk about everybody else. It could have been producer led. It could have been the producers kind of telling them, "Well, wrap up the day. How do you think all the couples are doing? Talk about each couple, do a line or two." And you know, Aaron is like, "While I just get her ready by rubbing her feet because the feet have been doing so much all day." They talk about each of the couples. I think it was producer led, or she just wasn't. There was no goosebumps, as Millie was saying about her encounter with Greg. There's probably just no goosebumps. But The fact that Own thought we needed to see more of their intimacy, more than we have seen of Shay and Josh, who've been holed up in that room since the beginning, is just too much. It's okay. It's okay that you like feet. You like her feet. It does something for you. I did not need to see how far down the rabbit went. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see how, not at all. Leave that behind the closed doors. Leave that under the curtain. Leave that. I was I was like, okay, you showed me that. Please be the end of it. I do not need to see you go between the toes. Please don't show me that. But Owen decided we all needed to see how intimate Aaron H is with feet and how comfortable he is with feet. I'm sorry, Owen. I don't need to know that.
See, now I should have known something was up. I should have known. I should have known when they kept paying into showing him rubbing that lotion in her feet. I should have known something was up. I should have known because that was a dead giveaway. That was a whole dead giveaway. And then they showed him sucking the toes, getting in the crevices, and her moaning too. That's what I remember hearing. It was like her kind of moaning a little bit. And I was like, no, y'all trifling. Y'all trifling as hell for showing this. I'm sorry. If I'm gonna get there, if I'm gonna have to say something that you're trifling as hell for doing that. I could have gone my entire life without seeing that. Like I get it. He's in the toes. We don't need to see a play by play. It's the same way we didn't need to see for all y'all who watch Martha's Vineyard. We didn't need to see Preston with his butt hanging out a couple weeks ago.
Thought you were going to say something else.
I don't know where I was gonna go with it, but I definitely wanted to be PG about it. I was like, but yeah, same way we didn't need to see that on Martha's Vineyard. We didn't need to see this.
Especially since Preston is in a committed relationship.
I just,
Mm.
I'm traumatized, y'all. The foot, because I mean, seeing naked bodies on TV or whatever is nothing new, but I mean, so I guess I really wasn't I wasn't entirely bothered by seeing Preston, but I mean, I was too. But it was the I don't know what it was about the toe sucking. I,
Okay, so
I toe
let's unpack.
sucking.
Let's unpack because would we have a problem if these were her hands?
Yes, because I
Okay.
don't want to be seeing. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like I get.
You're not a voyeur. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I
That's
don't,
okay.
because I don't mind doing the hand holding, the kissing, and like the occasional kiss in public. I don't mind that, but and I kind of and this is where I feel like I'm sounding like Sean here, but I don't mind all that. I don't want to see it. I almost turned off my stream. That's how bad it was. 'Cause I was like, why? I don't. I was like, what are we doing? Like,
We're
is this
building intimacy.
true? That is true. I will give you that. Even though I think you're being a little facetious here, but we don't need to actually see it.
Right. Because
Because we didn't see anything with Shay and Josh at all. We don't need to see this. So I'm just like,
and we will well I should say I would assume that, you know, Josh and Shay are, and we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing anything.
Ma'am, ma'am, I need you to get off.
We're not seeing anything. But they're given a level of privacy that Aaron H and Diamond are not given. I
Oh,
mean, come
that.
on. Come on. I mean,
I,
let them have some private time.
please. 'Cause that was entirely way too much. And I really was just like, this is what we doing on. Like, how did we get here? How did we get here? I don't get it. I don't understand how we got here. Like, I just. Like, I think a part of my spirit died when I saw that. Not gonna lie, because I'm like, why do we need to see that? Like, really? I just, I was just like, I can't with this, I can't own. But anyways,
So here's a question then. Let's keep it going. So feet rubs, are they acceptable?
yes, I don't. I mean, I don't mind feet rubs. I mean,
Okay.
if you want to give me foot, I honestly, I don't think I've ever had a foot rub before, but I wouldn't mind get one. So, there's a long. I just, I mean, I think what my problem is I kind of I feel Jay though. I felt Jay last night because she was talking about how she's a germaphobe, and I think my problem is that my toes are gonna be in your mouth, and I don't know where the hell your mouth been. So I'm like, please stop, please
And
stop.
and
Like,
and can they talk or no talking while performing the foot rub?
oh, they can talk all day long. I don't care. I mean, we can talk about whatever you want. Just as long as we ain't talking about somebody else's relationship while you giving me the foot rubs, I don't care. But
Okay.
um, we can do whatever you want as long
Okay.
as you give me a foot rub. I don't care.
It
Um,
is interesting for me that you said I don't know where your mouth has been, but not that he doesn't know where your feet have been.
I mean, I'll wash my feet before we do this if you want. I don't mind doing that because I mean, if you feel like you don't trust my feet, okay, I get it. I understand it. I'll let you watch me wash my feet for you, so that way you can give me put lotion on my feet and rub it in and all that. But gargle first, please, gargle first, and like at least a good 5 minutes. Gargle first. That's all I ask. Because
As someone
people,
said in the chat before, where are your kisses going after the feet? Mm.
I know it's turned all the way left, guys. I'm sorry. This is what happens when when two people who just don't care just talk. So
Okay. So so what did you think about Joanna and Aaron J's conversation about a sip from her glass?
she was doing too much. She was doing way too much, unfortunately.
Is it that most of the women are just doing too much? Because
No,
now she's
because
calling Aaron J a 6-year-old.
it's not just the women. It's just that the men are doing too much too. Because Chris is out here acting a whole fool, talking about I can flirt with women if I want to, because me and Sandia aren't in an exclusive relationship. It's just that their acting up is showing up different than the women. So, um,
But Joanna knew, and we learned from the first episode that Aaron J does not drink. So when he refused the drink or, didn't want the sip or have a whole glass, Was that not disrespectful to try and push him towards the alcohol when you know he doesn't drink? And then to call him a 6-year-old because, he chooses not to indulge?
Well, wasn't he trying to act like drink some of his her? Like, maybe I'm not understanding what you're saying because he was asking for a sip of hers and wasn't it
Right.
was it did have alcohol in it. So, but why I don't understand where the whole 6-year-old bit came into play. So maybe I'm just not understanding. Um,
I'm thinking it's like he wanted something different and she wanted him to have, a different amount in the glass, and it's like, come on now. See, the difference in this is, to be a little bit gentler is, let's say he wanted a sip, or let's say he didn't know how much he wanted. Maybe it's not alcohol, maybe it's some other kind of drink. It's like you can either give him the glass or make another for yourself or make one for him. It's not that difficult, but she just reared up. You are acting like a 6-year-old. Wait a minute.
which is hilarious because the way she's acting is 6-year-old ish. So, um, I mean, it's like look at the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, ugh. But it. I think it's just I think is the only reason why the women I guess we're talking about the women more is because it's so obvious what they're doing and that
Mm,
is bad and it's not as covert like maybe say Greg. Because I feel like Greg is doing more covert stuff than anything,
oh heck yeah.
um, but I mean, not obviously Chris is not being covert about anything because he's putting it all out there for everyone to hear. But yeah, I mean, it's just the men are just it's just showing up different for the men, and it's just like it's not being on full display. And obviously with Sienna, she's the I mean, out because other than Dom and Alexis, they were the obvious problems first, and then we're seeing Sienna be the second major problem here.
Hmm.
And now Joanna's the third major problem because she's also being passive aggressive, very obviously, in this moment. So I mean, it's just that the men, like I said, the men are just not doing it like that. They're just not being like that. I mean, we haven't really seen Shay do much of anything problematic from what I can see, or overtly problematic. And Josh is not being that problematic from what I can see, other than the fact that he said, uh, I had a roommate, she ended up falling on top of me and getting pregnant. Um, so, like, and I mean, other than that whole foolishness, I mean, we don't really see much of the men doing a whole bunch of anything. It's really just unfortunately, it's the women are looking bad primarily. So, I mean,
And he's the one that was forgiven the easiest.
right? Like, whew, I don't know. Um,
So Shay and Sienna talked about Brandon. That's next, right?
um,
While Shay was sweeping up, and Sienna said the problem is Brandon said he was bored. She felt like it was a swipe at her. and I say Shay co-signs Sienna's behavior. And then Brandon comes in and he's like, can I, join you? She's like, I don't want to bore you. Ooh, Lord.
I will say that Shay seems like she is a girl's girl and not and when willing to just go with whatever the women say rather than actually listen to both sides. But or maybe she's not a girl's girl. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe she's not a girl's girl. Maybe she'll what she does is she tends to listen to one side first and then just believes that first without and it doesn't matter if it's coming from a guy first or a girl first, but so because she believed whatever Josh said about the whole roommate situation and forgave him. So I will not say that she's a girl's girl. I will say that she believes whatever side the, comes to her first. So that's what I kind of want to say about that part. But um as far as Sienna goes, I need Miss Ma'am to exit stage left expeditiously, and I need her to talk to someone, anyone, because I mean, and she needs to do it for herself because she can't be doing it for other people. She needs to do it for herself, like because if you want to see your life in a certain way, um, if you want to see a certain outcome in your life, then you need to talk to someone to figure out where you're going wrong. Um, and to just kind of open up a little bit about why I'm in therapy. I kind of went in multifaceted a little bit because I felt like I didn't have much of a good relationship with some of my family members, my close family members, I should say, because there's a difference between close and then a difference between like extended family.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also feel like I wasn't really getting the best outcome in my romantic life either. So I wanted to kind of go to therapy, see like what I was doing wrong, and look at myself and see where I like what I could work on in those areas, and even like my friendships too. Like I feel like I was may have been going wrong in some of my friendships too. So like it's not like it's just one aspect of my life, and so but for her and I wanted to do that because I wanted to see better changes in my life. So that's what
Right.
she needs to do too. She needs to do it for herself, not because she was either forced to do it, like an addict might be forced to do it sometimes by families and friends and family, and they need to do it because they want to, not because they felt like they were backed into a corner.
Right.
So, um,
Just like how I felt with her apology, she should do that, you know, of her own free will. Not be, pushed by someone else to make that apology.
and then and
She
then
said,
she
go ahead.
I was gonna say like, and then she brings up, well, what did you bring to what did you say to Millie over and over and over again until she's yelling, like literally yelling that entire time, and she's not, and this is what he's saying. She kept interrupting him. This is what he was saying about how you never let me get anything out, and this is why he doesn't want to open up. And I'm like, okay, this is where I kind of need to get on Brandon a little bit. Like you see her doing this, and yet you're still here. I need you, Brandon, to get out of this because you can see that she's not changing. I need him to mean it because he saw this before, the day before, and he didn't. I guess he was hoping that maybe he could see a change, but at this point, she's not going to change. So I need you to stand on business and get the hell out of there, please, or something.
To
Because
to show a level of sympathy and understanding, or empathy, as Sean would say, for Brandon. I think what it is that Millie is not Millie, sorry, Sienna is rapid fire da 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 in her anger. Brandon is, I need to, as he says later to Chris, I need to process this. I'm still going through it. I need to process. So while she's rapid fire, he's like, I'm processing this. How do I say it to her? How do we work through this? He's at a slower pace. Not to say it's a bad pace, it's just a slower pace. And she just wants you to like let it out like she's letting it out. And even if he says it, she's not going to hear him because she's only hearing her volume. She's loud. She's doing this. And I'm like, I feel for the dude. I feel for him because I'm like, you're gathering your thoughts to say it properly, yet she's like on the third point already and you can't speak.
hmm and this is what I was gonna. This is what the comment I was trying to find from Jay's channel last night. I was feeling like she's more like something about Sienna seems very, 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 very angry. We don't know why. Um, and it could not. It doesn't necessarily have to be about Brandon, and it could have been because of something in her past. And whatever he's saying, or however he's saying it, or whatever he may have done, is triggering that part of her from our past, whether it's childhood or sometime in her adulthood before she met him. Whatever the case may be, she's triggered about that because she's angry about that, and that has never been resolved. And then how she's displaying it is she pops off quickly, very, very quickly about it. And then we're seeing it on our screens in real time. And she's even said she's done this, like she, or I get, did she say it, or do I just get the feeling that she may have done this in her previous relationships that she brought up? Um, about how they say that, what did she say? Her previous relationships said that she was a flip flopper. Is that what she said last
Yes,
episode? Okay,
she's not consistent. She's inconsistent.
okay, that's okay. Just want to make sure I got that right. So yeah, so she she is even showing up like that, and so I get the feeling she kind of pops off. She popped off in those relationships too because them saying that, and she was triggered by whatever, for whatever reason, by that. And then so and I in that regard, how I was feeling about that, with her feeling like she was very, very angry for whatever reason. I guess I understood her. If that's the case, I understood her in that regard because I've always felt very, very angry in when I was growing up for what had happened while I was growing up, and it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just that was I always moved around a lot, and I didn't like that because I was going through a little backstory on me. I have scoliosis, so I had to have corrective surgery for that, and when I was 11, and so even before I had those surgeries, I always felt like I was moving around. So I didn't realize it at the time, but as in the last recent years, in like last like 5, maybe 10 years, I realized I always felt angry and resentful about that.
Mhm.
And the way I did that, I showed up was in doing that was more like how I said earlier with Joanna, where she kind of builds up her anger and just lets it out eventually. And so that's kind of where, I mean, I may not, get violent about it, but I definitely let unleashed it um after a long time because it built. And so that's where kind of me and Sienna differ. But she needs to figure out why she's so angry. Because I get the I that's the feeling I'm getting from her is that she's very, very angry and she doesn't know why, and we don't know why. And maybe she doesn't even know why she's angry either. So um
Well, thank you, of course, always for sharing. Um, and for Sienna, as you said, she's lashing out, or it's just a buildup, and she's letting it all out. Um, I'd like to know if this is her normal behavior pattern, whether it be in relationships or in her friendships. Where does this show up? Because we know she's not popping off at her boss like this. So it is definitely for people she feels comfortable enough to unleash on. It's okay to get your emotions out. There's nothing wrong with telling Brandon, you have hurt me by saying you're bored. You have hurt me because you laughed, but you've got to have the room and the space to listen. And you have to be able to speak in a good tone so that the person hears your words and not just your volume. Because everybody's just hearing her volume right now in the house. Even with Brandon not being around, she is still going off loud and clear from the room upstairs. So the thing is that she needs to learn communication. She's like, we have no problem communicating. It's okay. You say a lot. I would like them to try the what did you hear him say? What did you hear her say? So that things aren't lost in translation. Because, my husband and I, we've had to go through that because, we were raised differently, different areas, different culture aspects. And so things get lost in translation, even though it's in English.
mm, right.
So you can't assume he's laughing because he's laughing at you and you're learning who he is. This is a time for a lot of questions. This is a lot of time. This is the time for a lot of questions. You should ask him, hey, why did you feel the need to say you were bored? That really did hurt me. And I feel, like like you're slipping away from me. I'm sure anyone would hear that and be like, dang, okay. This is why I said it. I didn't like the exercise. I felt we shouldn't have been doing this in front of everybody. You could hear whatever he has to say, and how he answers it also tells you a lot. How
Hmm.
he answers would tell you a lot. But you've got to give him the room, like Chris gave him the room downstairs, to process and breathe, take it in, and then respond. Or else all he's hearing is, what did you say about me? You told her about me. Da 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 da. And she went automatically to the negative. Automatically, she went, you talked crap about me with Millie, forgetting she walked into the room. He saw her laying there in the bed. He continued to talk to Millie, and she could hear everything because she's in the same room. But it's like you were talking crap about me to Millie.
And the ironic part is Brandon can say the same thing about her. He could say the exact same thing about her, because she did the exact same thing as she did. She she I mean I really don't remember her going too much into detail about Brandon all that much, but I mean, because I think Greg did more of the talking than Sienna, but um in the end she still talked about Brandon to Greg. So he can say the exact same thing. I don't know if he did, but he could have if he really wanted to. And if she would have allowed him to get a word in edgewise, I mean, but
Yeah, he couldn't get a word in. He couldn't even say goodnight. He couldn't even,
right,
you know, get his socks off the bed. But he embarrassed her on national TV. That's
right,
what she said. He embarrassed her. Not her saying the B word, not her not telling the whole story to the friend, but he embarrassed her. Okay. Sienna likes to rewrite history. She likes to rewrite what happened.
a revisionist.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I'm not yelling.
That's also ironic. Where it's like he's like, you're can you stop yelling at me? And she's like, in proceeding to yell at him, I'm not yelling. It's like, okay, girl, if you say so.
That's
But
when you know she's off the deep end. You know.
she is in the ocean at this point. That's how deep she's in. She dived deep into is she's into the ocean. She jumped off the diving board into the ocean and in deep water with the sharks. Cause I don't and then and then when he does leave her alone, which is I guess whatever something that she may have seemed like she wanted. She goes downstairs while he's talking to Shay, Josh, and was it? I don't remember who the third person was eventually, but there was like some other person. And so while he's talking to all three of those people, she goes downstairs and throws flowers at him. Or like what? Why? Like Miss Ma'am, please, I beg of you to get some help because this clearly is not working.
Not working at all. Um
Mm.
Gray so he goes downstairs. Brandon goes downstairs. Chris is there. Chris is complimenting him, saying, Brandon's a good dude. He's a good dude. And that's when Greg comes, Sienna needs a man with more edge. Is he putting in an application? The way he's been talking to her, it looks like he's putting in an application.
I don't know. I mean, with Chris auditioning all the women to flirt with and get into the roster like Derek Jackson, I don't even know. Like maybe half of these guys are wanting like to audition people for rosters or something. I don't know, but I mean, you could be on to something.
Mm. And his conflict resolution is to get 72 hours apiece is the boom boom room. Greg. Yeah. Greg, that if that is your conflict resolution for your relationship, Millie ain't the one. Um
These people are weird. I mean, the only sane ones seem to be Shay and Josh, and they even have problems. So I'm like, y'all just please focus on yourselves. I beg of you. I don't
A-
get it.
Aaron H did call Sienna a bully,
Well, that's because she is. So he wasn't wrong about that. um,
but she kept on saying, "What is that?" When he said, "I'd rather keep it private, rather not talk about it." She's like, "What is that doing for me? How is that helping me?" Like, but it's helping you because it's helping him. He's trying to navigate communicating with you. Someone else is giving him feedback. And if he learns from someone else, then that would increase your communication with him. So it's helping you in a way. You don't may not need to know the details. You may have to watch it and say, hey, there's some things I hope you are not sharing, like XYZ. But if this is the guidance you need for us to continue, so be it.
Well, the reason why they keep trying to use that boom boom room is because they nasty. You answered your own question because they
Oh my God.
so I just wanted to kind of point that out first. Sorry,
We did talk about the cleaning rotation. Mm. But
but
Brandon did say he's shaken up and he's still processing, but he did also say he was done. When she called him out of his name, he was done.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so because he needs to get out ASAP. But he's also one of the other guy. The only other guy I feel like is like Aaron H, where he's running behind the woman that he's with. Unfortunately, I get that vibe from him. So I'm not sure, because I don't remember much outside of the preview next week, except where Joanna was telling off Diamond about how she's all up in her business, like that. That's the only part I remember, unfortunately. So I mean, I don't know if he's really going to call it quits and get up out of there.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask Shay. She said, Sienna's hard around the edges, but Brandon holds grudges. I don't know what she means by that. Is it that he's not quick to forgive, so he holds grudges? Or has he presented something else where, I mean, they've only been in the house for 72 hours. How do you know he holds grudges? But, as Delphine said in the chat, with Shay being with Josh for 12 years, her judgment, we aren't, sold on that.
Yeah, no,
So while they're comforting Brandon and he's trying to finally speak because there's a room of people who are willing to listen, Sienna walks into the room and throws the flowers across the room at him, and it hits him on the knee. I said that's assault. I said she needs to be kicked out like Dom was.
I don't think they will though.
I don't think so either, but it's DV. She needs to be gone.
I mean, I think the only thing that would have made her be sent out is if she threw that pot that Alexis was carrying on episode 2.
You mean the whole vase that the flowers were in? If she threw it and it broke in front of him?
Or yeah, well, something, anything that would have caused some bleeding. I mean, if she had thrown that, like something that could cause bleeding on
But
him,
Dom didn't cause any bleeding.
but they could see that it was going to could very well get to that point because I mean they were all up in each other's faces. What I'm getting at is like, that I mean, unless she was doing all that where she was like, you know, either actually threw something that could physically hurt him or threatening threatening it in a way that she would do that, then I don't think she's gonna go.
I don't think she's going to go either. I think the show is going to keep her, but I don't see how anyone would look at that and think she won't escalate. She did not soothe herself in the room. She had all the time. He was not there. He was downstairs talking to other people. She was riling herself up, and she picked up the flowers, came downstairs, and threw it at him. Yes, them them paws are next.
Yeah, because that I mean
It's gonna
that
escalate because at least she didn't walk in there and beat him over the head with the flowers. Because I could have seen that.
uh-huh.
So she thought, and I've seen this. I'm not going to, you know, put a demographic on it. Throw stuff in the air and see if it falls and hits you. But it to me it was startling. You're calling this man all kinds of things, and you're saying he's embarrassing you on national television, yet you are the one doing all these things.
She probably did want it. Like, she probably did. Because I think it's that push and pull that Kojo has been talking about. So, I don't know. I mean,
Well, it'll be interesting to hear him talk about the mirror with these two.
I don't know. I mean,
I could see it, but it'll be interesting to hear his perspective of the mirror with these two people.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a cry for attention. She wanted him to follow. She wanted him to come around. Yeah, I hate to say it too, but yeah, that is not the way to build a healthy, long-lasting relationship. Is to fight. You can fight together. Yeah, you can have little squabbles or whatever. Keep the blood flowing. But this, nah, you
Well,
have
hey, JR, how you doing?
crossed
We
the
were
line.
actually talking about you earlier. I mean, were your ears burning or something? Because we definitely were thinking about you earlier before the live started. So,
Now you gotta tell him. Now you gotta tell him. You started. Come on, say it. Uh.
don't make me choke. I literally took a sip. No, Jared, we didn't actually say anything on live. We talked about it before he came on live.
But you brought it on live. You brought it on live. You got to say it. You brought it. Say it.
We were just talking about how like Kojo, UK folks are like hours ahead of us, so it's just like because I didn't even know that you got that UJR went on live so late, so I also brought that up, so I was like, but that's basically what we're talking about. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything nefarious. I promise. I promise.
It's as she stated, we were talking about the time zone differences and how late you guys stay up to accommodate our, American time zone. And we appreciate it. I'm just putting her on blast a little bit. I'm just putting her on blast to say you bring it to the family. We gotta tell it all.
Starting
See,
so she's on one today because she didn't get much sleep last night. So we're
I've
both.
always been I've always been on one. I am not afraid to say anything in private. I can't say it in your face. We gonna say it.
We're both a little loopy. I got some sleep last night. It's just I'm a little loopy today too, so I'm not gonna lie. Like, so I mean,
Y'all, she
you
telling
know what,
all
Del?
the
You know
private
what?
chat.
You know what? Delphine, you know what?
Well, we will. What you'll always get with us is levity and a laugh. Don't take this too seriously. It is an edited, produced show with a cast of characters,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna laugh about it. But yeah, I'm sorry. I stand strongly on Sienna needs to be removed from the show, and by default, Brandon needs to go home. I'm sorry, she needs to go.
She does. I don't have any faith that they're gonna do it. I mean, maybe they will, considering that with the whole Alexis and Dom situation happened. But the only reason why I'm not having any faith is because it wasn't so volatile. Like they were literally getting up in each other's faces, like Dom and Alexis were. So I mean, eh, unless Brandon says verbatim, I don't feel safe because she threw something at me, even if it's just flowers. I don't think that they're gonna do anything, unfortunately.
And that's my problem. Why does he have to say, I feel unsafe? I mean, if Brandon picked up the flowers he got her and threw it at her and it hit her, what were we saying? What would we be saying? This man is a troublemaker. This man is, doing DV. He needs to be gone. You said a president when you did it with Dom. You had him stay at a hotel and apologize the next day.
Yeah, he
So
shouldn't have to. Like Jay said, he shouldn't have to. But unfortunately, even with like women making complaints, they they don't. You see all or hear all the time how cops don't really can do much unless something physical happens. And I mean, yeah, in a way, it kind of touched like it. From what I remember, it only like grazed his foot or his
it hit him in
waist.
the knee. It hit him on the knee and dropped.
Okay, I guess I missed that then because I thought only kind of like grazed his like foot or something, and it
Maybe I'm hypersensitive. Maybe I'm hypersensitive because if she can throw flowers, she can throw something heavier.
and I know I agree with that. If she could do one, she can do the other very easily. Because I mean, you saw that how she only started verbally, and this is over the course of literally 2 days or a day. It's not even over the course of like weeks or months. So if she can go easily from saying something, calling him out his name, and then getting heightened in her tone about something, about whatever, the next day, and then not even minutes later going to throwing something at him towards, or at least towards his direction, even if it didn't necessarily hit him per se, then it can go even further, and she can smack him beside the back of his head or something, even
Yeah,
if
she
something
could
like
throw a
that.
shoe. She could throw anything that's within her reach. She came from the bedroom. She picked up the roses. She walked down the stairs.
She
She
made a
came to
point.
the living room. She had, when you're looking at all these cases, or when you're looking at cases, in the court system, they walk you through it. She had time to change. She had time to, how do they say, redirect. But she didn't. She followed all the way through and bounced in front of witnesses. Then there is nothing this woman would not do. She feels emboldened. There are people around. They are watching her. They are watching her throw this. And it's like, even as another woman, I wouldn't feel safe even getting an argument with her. She'll get physical.
I mean, she basically has. It's just that, I mean, it wasn't necessarily throwing punches. Um, so I mean,
Yes, Delphine, it can be seen as premeditated, because she had all this time. She actually had to sit there and think, and then she picked up the flowers and went with it. She thought enough not to bring the vase. She thought enough not to pick up the vase and bring that to throw it at him. So, yeah, she knows what she's doing, and it's not cute. So we go from Dom to Sienna.
sorry. So to kind of bring some levity into this, did you come back from your nap, Sean? Talk about seeing her from the block. Sorry, sorry. I kind of had to bring some laughter here. I'm sorry. It got a little too bit too heavy, so I need to bring some laughter back for a second. I had to do it. I had to do it. Sorry.
Sean rolled over and said, "Oh, they're still there. Okay, let me put a note in the chat." Or did he go to Jay's live and copy paste? I mean, what are we doing?
But
Oh
yes,
gosh.
no, I definitely agree. It's really only gonna get worse, and I just I really I watch too much SVU, or at least reruns of SVU because I don't really watch the new seasons anymore. I watch too many reruns of SVU and stuff like Criminal Minds to have that much faith in them doing much, at least not quickly. Despite what we saw in the first two episodes.
Yes.
So
But no, this is definitely never ever Mets is talking about what never ever to do to your significant other when you do meet. And including don't be rubbing feet on camera.
no, see, no, because what we're not gonna do is not gonna do that. I told you, I don't care about the rubbing of the feet on the screen. It was when he slobbered all over her feet. That was an issue for me, okay? The slobbering. I can't do it. I can't do it. So let's get it straight. Let's get it straight.
Oh, that is too funny. Yeah, I had to get a rise out of you. I had to. But we will be I guess through this show we will be exploring intimacy in many ways. Oh God, JR. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am
Log
not
off. Log off. it,
Ah. Oh,
it's
I could go down that rabbit hole with him, but I'm gonna leave it alone. JR, I'm gonna leave it alone.
it got me crying over here, JR. I can't with you. I can't.
So
Uh,
I guess a woman finally understands how y'all feel, but I'll leave it right there. Leave right there.
uh. And Jay say so exactly because the only reason why I know about this hand, foot, mouth disease is because my my younger brother and sisters, they're triplets, and they got it a few years ago when they went to daycare for the first time. Um, and they ended up getting it, and they're fine now, obviously, but that's this is exactly why I said freaking gargle for 5 minutes straight because what we're not about to do is do that because I'll let you see me wash my feet for you just as long as I see you gargle for 5 minutes. So thank you. I'm just saying.
Okay. So
Now, Jay, what Jr. What did I say? You're gonna have to get off if you're gonna be going there.
now we have to be open to people expressing themselves. We cannot be Sienna and shutting people off that they
Okay,
cannot communicate and talk.
I apologize. They are. I apologize, but at least behave a
Well,
little bit. At least behave a
well,
little bit. That's all I ask.
Jr. If the toes are curling, then he getting scratches in the mouth. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Well,
And this turned into after dark times, even though it's 2:49 in the afternoon for me right now. Okay, it's still bright as all get out. Even though it's cloudy, it's still bright, and we're talking about this. This is how we go. This is how we like.
hey, and this is tame. This is tame. This is tame. This is only on water and lack of a lot of sleep. But this is tame, Ariadne. This is tame for me. So
Mm, I don't know about that, but I'll let you live with that lie for now if you want to.
it is tame because there's so much I could say going down that rabbit hole with JR, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
I
So
so badly want to tell you to go to bed to JR, but I'm gonna let you live for now. I'm gonna let you live for now with that. Um,
so who's next on the roster to be in the boom boom room?
none of them, hopefully. Ugh. Yeah, to the corner. Yeah, yeah, to the corner. There we go. I could say it. How I'll steal that JC. So like to the corner, please.
Well, we know that the corner or facing the wall has psychological damages on kids now.
Yeah,
Now we gotta let him express himself.
he can say his piece from the corner, but
and and
he holds it
and
corner.
and, and while you're not feeling comfortable, I'm sure Sean is empathetic.
See, Sean, this is why I said last night on Jay's live, and I specifically highlighted Elsie that they need to bring Mr. Monk into sanitizing that room. If you don't know who Mr. Monk is, go look at him. Go look him up because he will clean it for you, or he will at least pay for a cleaning service to come clean it up for you. Because there's a specific episode where he hired a cleaning crew to help to clean up someplace. I can't remember which one it is at the moment, but yes. Um. Anyway, yeah, they need to sanitize it like industrial grade sanitizer to go in that room.
Mm, okay, if y'all think that'll work, if y'all think that'll work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about hospital grade stuff because I mean I be hearing horror stories about how people get sick even in hospitals. So I don't even know if I want to say I don't even want to say hospital grade. That's why I said industrial grade because I mean
Let's just incinerate the room and start all over.
yes. How about that? That's better.
This is not to co-sign arson at all. I said incinerate does not mean burn down. It's, the definition is different.
Sean, we need to come up with your definitions. Come on, so we can get the definitions, please. Anyways, any other thoughts?
No, I'm eager to see next week. But if Sienna is there next week, I will, be protesting the fact that she is still there.
And I will be right there with you because, baby girl, please stop. I need you to stop. I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I don't. Clearly, people are around. There are people around her that are enabling her crap. Because if they weren't, I don't think she would be this far gone. Oh, okay. I won't say this far gone because that sounds terrible. But like she's incapable of changing. But if she's doing all this, then yeah, she needs serious help. So
I agree. I agree. So join us again next week.
I promise I'll try to be more lucid and not mix up people's names. I promise I can't guarantee anything, but I promise to because it was the struggle of us with people's names today. It
I'm
really.
not going to make any promises.
With that, I will see you guys next week. Pray for me, y'all, because I need it.